All right, I'm going to show you a symbol for organizational problem solving. And this is just something I try to put all these ideas in some kind of picture, right? So here's just a picture related to that. This picture is solving problems. Let's pretend like in your company, someone in your company has seen some problem approaching. Okay, so if you can tap that person, tap that group that sees that problem coming, usually it's not the top guy. Usually it's someone doing the actual work, right? Because you're keeping track of your expertise, and the top guys keep track of other things. So now, if you find this barrier, if you can find a tool to move this barrier, this is a representation of a tool, right? So a lever and a fulcrum is my representation of a tool. There's a tool for most problems. First, you got to understand what the problem is. If you think of this as the problem-solving tool, then the force it takes to apply that tool are teams of people communicating and using their skills and using that tool to move that force, right? So this is just a quick symbol of what that might look like. This distance is very important, because the further you slide this over, the more leverage you have, right? With this group of people solving that problem, this is the skill they obtain in using that tool. As an example, if you're a project manager, that's a tool, project management. If you can train your team and yourself, you're equivalent of pushing that way over, because it gives you more leverage to move that weight. The number one implementation tool is project management. If you're looking for root causes to a problem, then that's a root cause analysis. And the more skilled you are at using root cause analysis, the more leverage you have. Now there's something else that's important here too. This distance where you apply the force is important, right? Can you imagine if you apply the force there, it ain't going to work. If you apply the force back here, it'll work. So that is the time required to use that tool and to empower those people to use that tool in order to fix that problem. There comes a time when you apply that tool too late, it's going to be useless. It'll be the perfect tool. But for example, you say you're a perfect project manager. It takes 6 months to do this project. They gave you 3. It takes 6 months. You're going to be late. It just doesn't matter. Okay, so that's a picture of how to use a tool. Does that make sense? You have the problem, you have the tool, you have the force, which is the people, you have their skill in using that tool, which is the leverage, and you have when you apply it and where you apply it, and that's the time you give someone to actually do it. Now, a lot of problems that happen is that we know this problem's coming, but we apply the solution too late. You've been there? We see it coming. We've seen it coming for 3 years, but we wait till the middle of the 6 months before it's here before we start applying that tool. We know ISO 9000 is going to be a problem. We have to do it because we have a customer that requires it, but we wait until the very last minute to apply it, and we didn't even develop the skills internally. So now the first thing we got to do is develop skills, and on and on and on. So if you don't develop skills, you're sliding, you have no leverage. If you don't put the force in the right place, you don't give them enough time, they can't do anything. And that's where most of the problems come in solving a problem. You got to have a tool, got to understand the tool, and you got to apply the tool at the right place. The right tool for the right problem. Okay, does that make sense? It's a real easy way to picture it for somebody. And all this can be trained. So if we apply it in the wrong place, it's here. Okay, and sometimes the wrong tool. You don't know how to apply it anyway.